It's Fernando Ruiz Art.
Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I know it's been a while, but we are back on track. I'm back. Been busy wrapping up the artwork for the most recent Die Kitty Die Starstruck. So everything is done for that book, at least from my end. I think my final pages are being inked and colored now. So on to wrapping up other projects like Incredibelle, and then I'm drawing the last few pages for that. And I'm also just doing some stuff for fun in between. This is this Batman piece that I did for National Batman Day last week. And there is the finished thing. And now this week, something I'm finding is that whenever I wrap up a big project like Die Kitty Die, I like to do just a drawing for myself before starting another big one. So I don't know. I guess it's just a way of clearing out cobwebs and things like that. So here is the finished Batman piece. And if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you will see the whole thing posted. So check me out there. And as always, the links to all my social media is in the description below, so you could always go right there. Now, here's what I'm working on right now. Since as of this recording, it's October, so we're closing in on Halloween. So this is a piece, a faux cover, and I say faux because it isn't being, it's not going to be used. I'm just doing this for fun. A faux Afterlife with Archie cover. And for those of you who haven't followed it, Afterlife with Archie is sort of an Archie horror zombie story. So I've got Archie here, and he's going to be reading an issue of Afterlife while most of his friends have been zombified behind him. I've actually been working on this piece for a while, and what I started with was actually hand drawing the logo. So that is all done by hand there. No tracing either, just eyeballing it. So I hope it looks okay. And then just blocking in where different characters go, and I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm making it up as I go. So just, I know Archie, of course, was going to be front and center, and Jughead was going to be reacting to the zombies behind them. And, of course, you want Betty. Betty is pretty much in there. And there is Headless Reggie. I wanted Reggie holding his own head because I thought that would be cool. And that's going to be Veronica. And, of course, we see Dilton peeking around. And up front, too, just to make this extra weird, there's Little Archie. Just because I always liked Little Archie. And so I know, how could Little Archie and regular Archie be in the same piece? That's how weird this gets. All right, so I'm actually gonna go in, and we've got Chuck coming in there, and there's Big Moose in the back. So I'm gonna go in and let's tighten up Jughead. So Jughead is kind of, he's pretty tightly drawn already. I sketch him in very lightly, and then I go back in and I darken up the lines that I want to be definite, that I want to be like my final lines. And Jughead is almost there. The others are fairly light. This is a rare instance where I have Jughead with his eyes open wide, but I figured all those zombies are reason enough. And I know the fans of the book are gonna get on me for some continuity violations, but I'm not following the continuity of the book. It's always This book, Afterlife with Archie, was a tremendous hit by any measure, but especially for Archie Comics. And it has a very passionate following, which is a little sad because I always see on the Archie fan sites, the Fans of Archie Facebook page, every now and then there's still people out there waiting for this book to come back, waiting for this book to continue. And anyone who's followed the book just knows, even when the book was coming out on somewhat of a regular basis, it really wasn't. There were all these gaps in between issues and delays in between issues. It got to the point where a new issue became a real event. And then finally, the book just stopped altogether. And, you know, their fans there still holding a torch, keeping a light on, hoping this book comes back. And, I mean, I'm not up there anymore. I don't hear anything, but I'm guessing it's probably not going to come back. And actually, the whole Afterlife with Archie thing has its roots in a series that I was drawing. I was drawing the Life with Archie magazine, if you guys remember that one. And that was the magazine-sized Archie book that kind of spun off from the married life of Archie, the story where Archie marries Betty and then he marries Veronica. And we continued their stories in this magazine formatted book called Life with Archie. And it was during Life with Archie that Archie Archie Comics, the company, really fell in love with the idea of variant covers. During my run on the book, they started with the variant cover stuff, and you know, initially they weren't as drunk with variant covers as they would be. We usually had about one. I think they kept it at about one for every issue, and they bring in a different artist, usually an artist with some kind of name to them, some kind of clout. They bring them in and they draw a variant cover of Life with Archie. So I forget what number it was. I think I want to say it's around issue 22 or so, maybe 23. I think it was definitely in the low 20s. Francesco Francavilla had done a Life with Archie variant cover. I'm going to go on up to Veronica, who needs to get tightened up a little. So Francesco Francavilla did this variant cover where it was a straight out, they changed the logo and everything, and they called it Afterlife with Archie. And it was basically Archie fighting zombies, zombied version. I think there was a zombie version of Jughead on that cover. And it was a nice cover. It was a nice cover. It was a cool graphic. Everybody loved the whole concept. Now, I don't remember the timeline exactly, but Roberto Sacasa, who wrote Afterlife with Archie, and he was the producer, something, a writer for the TV show Glee. And he joined Archie, and he has a unique history with Archie, which I won't go into. But he was working on the TV show Glee, and he got a Archie Glee crossover happening in the Archie books, and he wrote that, of course, and I believe Dan Parent drew it. So I don't know whose idea it was to turn that variant cover, that Afterlife with Archie variant cover, into an ongoing series, but it was Roberto's baby. Now, Archie at this time, you have to understand, they wanted some sort of Archie TV show deal in the worst way. They wanted a movie, a TV show, some sort of live action thing. And they were really hoping Roberto would make this happen for them. And, you know, they just wanted to make him happy and give him whatever he wanted. And they gave him this Afterlife series. And he wrote it, and it was a hit. It was a hit from the start. Francesco Francavilla, he was drawing it. Archie committed to only letting those guys work on this book, so the book would not happen unless they were doing it. That decision, for better or worse, you guys can debate. But that's how the series got started. And, you know, right from the get-go, it was a hit. The sales were good by any marker, let alone by Archie standards. So, but, you know, what hurt the book was that the irregular publishing schedule. And, you know, I'm not going to go into why it wouldn't come out more regularly. I mean, I mean, that's up to the creative team, I suppose. But I know they had trouble keeping the book on schedule. But usually an irregular publishing schedule like that can really doom a book. But every time a new issue came out, it sold well. It sold really, really well. And I have no doubt that if a new issue came out today, and now we're a good few years later, it would probably still sell well. But really, I really believe the whole book was about getting that TV deal, which they got. Eventually, it led to the Riverdale TV series, and I think everybody got busy with that, and the Afterlife series just kind of fell by the wayside, unfortunately for the fans. So hopefully this little bit of Afterlife, this little tidbit, this little cover that I'm doing will in some way meet your Afterlife needs. I know it's not the same, but I hope you guys will dig it anyway. So I'm not going to be able to finish this one in this video. I hope you guys like this little behind the scenes dirt shoveling. And I hope you guys like this piece. Again, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I also do LinkedIn. If anybody does LinkedIn, please follow me there, and contact me with jobs. So if you guys want to see the finished piece, it'll certainly be there, posted on my social media. So look for it there, and look for me in the next video. Okay, this is where we're at. We got a few more people to add in. And of course, if you guys think of anybody else that you want to see zombified, let me know in the comments below. All right, thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. See you at the next one, coming up very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.